Hello, everyone, and good evening to you all. My name is Felton Parker. Today is Monday, August 4th, 2025. As always, each day is a wonderful day to be blessed by our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I sincerely hope you folks enjoyed your weekend, and I sincerely hope you folks had a truly blessed and wonderful Monday. What I have for you guys in tonight's video is the list of all the National Day holidays from my National Day calendar segment. That includes my featured National Day holiday. Also tonight, right after my National Day calendar segment, I will have my famous birthday segment for you all, where it features our famous people who were born on this day. And also tonight, in my weather segment, I will let you all know exactly what we are expecting for tomorrow, which is Tuesday, the remainder of this week, the upcoming weekend, and on to the start of next week. So without further ado, let's get things started here on this Monday night as we start fresh another week. Actually, as we start fresh this first full week of August. Also, as we conclude this day. Yep. Back to school season is in full swing with many students across the entire Architects region beginning school this week. So in case you're wondering about the start dates, the first day of school, I don't have all the schools listed, but I do. Here's some that I know by heart. I only know 3 of them about right now, and I'll probably have the list of in tomorrow night's videos. But Bossier and DeSoto Parish begin their first day of class this coming Thursday, August 7th, and next Wednesday will be the first day of school for students in Cattle Parish. That is next Wednesday, August 13th. So, summer vacation, both this week and next week, will be ending for many students. So, just imagine how fast summer has flown by. But let's get into it here with my National Day calendar segment. Of course, today was National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day. One of my favorites. So that's one of the most popular brands of chocolate chip cookie. On this day, National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day gives us an opportunity to dunk America's #1 favorite cookie in a tall glass of ice cold milk, coffee, or tea. Whether yours are homemade or store-bought, the only way to celebrate is to indulge in chocolate chip cookies. Hashtag Chocolate Chip Cookie Day. Without chocolate chips, the cookie would still be #1, or would it? Probably would just be a plain old sugar cookie. For that reason, we also recognize Ruth Graves Wakefield on National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day. Thanks to her inventiveness and curiosity, chocolate chips and the cookie dough go together. And for this reason, we hover around ovens, savoring the moment the timer dings. So here's how the chocolate chip cookie began. Imagine if Ruth Graves Wakefield hadn't run out of baker's chocolate for her cookie recipe that day in 1937, because that's what happened. The cookie recipe she was preparing called for baker's chocolate and would have blended smoothly into the dough. However, she was out. And what if Mrs. Wakefield hadn't considered using semi-sweet chocolate instead? She figured it would just melt into the dough and work much like the baker's chocolate. Or what if someone had interrupted Ruth Graves Wakefield that day and caused the cookies to burn and ruin the experiment? Well, none of that happened. Instead of interruptions or doubts, the baker added the chocolate to the dough. Moments later, the mouth-watering aroma began to waft from Mrs. Wakefield's oven. Perhaps the smell lured the child into the kitchen, or maybe a guest at the toll house inn she and her husband owned. We may not know the final details of the day the chocolate chip cookie came to be. However, we do know Ruth Graves Wakefield made it happen. And if it wasn't for her, we would know the ecstasy of warm chocolate cookie. And if it wasn't for her, we would know the ecstasy of warm chocolate chip cookie melting on our tongue. We know that feeling when our eyes close in heavenly satisfaction and a perfect smile graces our face. No, if it weren't for Ruth Graves Wakefield, entire generations would be denied the bliss that is a chocolate chip cookie. We could even go as far as to, we could even go so far as to say she is responsible for all those other nuggets of goodness. Those morsels of butterscotch, peanut butter, and white chocolate we enjoy much the same way we enjoy our chocolate delights. Nothing though rates quite as high as the chocolate chip cookie Miss Ruth Grace Wakefield brought to us in 1937. No, nothing, not at all. Here's how to observe. Make your favorite chocolate chip cookies and throw some extra chocolate chips into the mix. Here, you can give a recipe to try. Here are the ways to celebrate this day. Read the book of Ruth Grace. Read the book of Ruth Grace Wakefield. One Smart Cookie by Sarah Howden. Visit your favorite bakery. You know, and of course I have to give a shout out to one of my favorite cookie eateries in town, Crumble. I hope you ever give a shout out to Crumble Cookie. You know, that's been my staple here in Shreveport for the past 2 to 3 years, and I have tried the chocolate chip cookie and just by being honest, they are not the best, but I found other places that have chocolate chip cookies that taste better than the ones at Crumble. Or have you gone by Great American Cookies? To name a few. You know how simple. Honestly, cannot go wrong for cookies. Visit your favorite bakery, give them a shout out. Organize a chocolate chip cookie bake off. It could even be a fundraiser for a local charity. Try recipes from Ruth Wakefield's Tour House. Tried and true recipes. So that is what we know here on this Monday night in reference to chocolate chip cookies. So where you celebrated home by going to visit the bakery, or visit Crumble, or let's see what other popular bakeries are here in town. Let's see, Julienne's. How about Lauer Baking Company? Another place here in Shreveport that I haven't tried. So it's all about the chocolate. It's all about chocolate chip cookies, or whether you just bought them store bought, or maybe if you're trying to maybe just even celebrate by opening up Chips Ahoy, or excuse me, or be like the Cookie Monster from Sesame Street. Because I do know a place where, or where in store bought cookies, store bought brands such as Chips Ahoy, or Famous Amos. So the best chocolate chip cookies. So to make the best chocolate chip cookies, the prep time is 1 day and 10 minutes. To bake them is for 9 minutes per batch, and the rest for 15 minutes. This is the total prep. 1 day, 34 minutes, and servings of 9 cookies. Here are the ingredients: 80 grams of white sugar, 80 grams of brown sugar, 100 grams of salted butter softened at room temperature, 1 whole egg, 3.5 grams of baking soda, 225 grams of dark chocolate used for your favorite dark chocolate, Malden sea salt for the cell, or any big sea salt, 170 grams of all-purpose flour sifted. Here are the instructions. Cut the chocolate into big chunks with a bread knife, and here are instructions. Cut the chocolate into big chunks with a bread knife and reserve in a bowl. Measure out the rest of the ingredients. Mix the flour and baking soda with the whisk in one bowl and set aside. Cream the butter and sugars together with an electric mixer on the panel attachment until it begins to lighten slightly, but not too much, about 5 to 10 minutes. Add the egg and mix until just incorporated. With the spatula, mix the flour and baking soda in and mix. Add the chocolate chunks and mix. Make sure all the flour is properly mixed in and no flour is left at the bottom of the bowl. Cover the top of the cookie dough with plastic wrap and let it sit overnight in the fridge. Excuse me. The next day, set your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. The next day, set your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. If you have a good quality oven with convection, line 2 baking trays with parchment paper. Weigh out 75 gram balls of cookie dough and set on the tray with enough space in between. Sprinkle 1 or 2 flakes of that beautiful Malden salt on top of each cookie. Bake the cookie for 9 minutes and 36 seconds, or 9 hours and 30 minutes, however. That's the sweet spot. So bake the cookies for, I want to say, like between like 9 to 10 minutes, or however. Okay, I'll put it this way. Bake the cookies for at least 10 minutes. Once you see the cookies develop a nice golden brown color, then pull them right out of the way. Let them stand on the tray for 10 to 15 minutes. Yes, you do need to wait for additional 10 minutes. So don't skip that step. And this recipe comes from Devin Cameron of the Canuck Chef in the Netherlands. So that's how you would bake some of the best chocolate chip cookies. So I bet homemade chocolate chip cookies, even through the Pillsbury, they would taste way much better than store-bought prepackaged cookies like Famous Amos or Chips Ahoy, other brands of store-bought chocolate chip cookies. So each year on August 4th is national. And once again, today was National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day. Not only was today National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day, today was also National Coast Guard Day. On this day, National Coast Guard Day celebrates and honors the courageous work of the service members of Coast Guard. Today we salute all Coast Guard members, active and inactive, for their service to our country. The United States Coast Guard is one of the 6 United States Armed Forces. While its maritime service is a branch of the military, they are also a multi-mission service. During peacetime, it operates under the Department of Homeland Security. However, their responsibilities can be transferred to the U.S. Navy by the President of the United States at any time deemed necessary or by Congress during war times. The first Coast Guard aviators graduated from Pensacola Naval Aviation Training School in 1917. Aviation is still the largest part of the Coastal Guard security enforcement and defense readiness. Always ready to protect our shores and waterways, the Coast Guard provides morning search and rescue. They are a large part of the nation's navigation system and marine environmental protection. When Hurricane Katrina struck the Gulf Coast of America, the U.S. Coast Guard saved over 33. When Hurricane Katrina struck the Gulf Coast of America, the U.S. Coast Guard saved over 33,500 lives. Back then, it was known as the Gulf of Mexico. Their maritime efforts rescued an estimated 24,000 lives from peril in severely dangerous conditions. Since 1790, service members have been at the ready to provide support whatever the mission. Their commitment continues today. In this country, thousands of events nationwide honor the Coast Guard. Get involved and show your support. Here are other ways to celebrate. Take a tour of one of the many Coast Guard museums in the country. Share stories of Coast Guard experiences. Listen to the U.S. Coast Guard Band. Watch movies featuring the Coast Guard. Here's a complete list. Read about the Coast Guard and the Coast Guard by Jose Hansen and Tom Beard, or So Others May Live. Coast Guard's rescue swimmers saving lives, defying death by Marv J. LaGuardia, Cody, and Tom Ridge. The United States Coast Guard traces its founding to an act of Congress on August 4, 1790. The Coast Guard consisted of 10 vessels that carry out the enforcement of various trade and humanitarian duties. So that is what we know about the Coast Guard here. So again, here are the following National Day holidays from earlier today: National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day, and also today was National Coast Guard Day. Now here's a list of our famous people who were born on this day, and some of these you may be highly familiar with. Today, former U.S. President Barack Obama turned 64. TV actor Cole Sprouse turns 33. Excuse me. Here are the famous birthdays from earlier today. Today, former U.S. President Barack Obama turned 64. TV actors Cole and Dylan Sprouse turned 33. Rapper Lil Skies turns 27. Duchess Meghan Markle turns 44. Rapper Bobby Shmurda turns 31. TV actor Nathaniel Buzelic turns 42. Movie actor Billy Bob Thornton turns 70. TV actor Daniel Day Kim turns 57. TV actress Bruna Marquezine turns 30. Rapper Marquez Houston turns 44. TV actress Olivia Deeby turns 23. R&B singer Jessica Malboy turns 36. Movie actress Abigail Spencer turns 44. Movie actress Greta Gerwig turns 42. Pop singer Jessica Sanchez turns 30. TV actress Tinsley Price turns 13. TV actor Dan Payne turns 53. Voice actress Lauren Tom turns 64. TV actor James Tucker turns 60. Entrepreneur Rich Dollars turns 50. And in those we were in remembrance today, Louis Armstrong today would have turned 120. Today we're those in remembrance Louis Armstrong and and trumpet player Louis Armstrong and fashion designer Louis Vuitton. And of course now here's an update on your weather, and of course I want to talk to you guys about something that is happening. Okay, here's I want to talk to you guys about something that is happening in the tropics. And I'll give you your tropic update in just moments. But I do want to talk to you now. It's been nice now. The weekend started off with a little rain, but not so much. Of course, that led us to a period of drier and briefly cooler area. And of course, for the past couple of days, we've experienced a series of below normal temperatures for a change, with low humidity and rather comfortable start and rather comfortable and pleasant start to, and of course a break from the we've enjoyed ourselves a break from the humidity, and temperatures have been somewhat below normal, but looks like that we're about to start to see temperatures getting back into a rise, and I'll let you guys know how hot it will be getting as we make progress through this weekend. I'll also let you guys know when our next chance of rain arrives. Now, and also I'm going to talk to you guys about a disturbance that is finally happening in the tropics as well. The summer heat and humidity will make a steady return as we move. The summer heat and humidity will make a steady return as we move throughout this week. We could see a return of heat advisory headlines, but humidity levels should remain low early in the week before increasing by midweek. So, hope you're having a chance to enjoy the break from the humidity while it lasts. Summer heat returns this week. Humidity levels will remain low through Tuesday. Upper level heat dome will extend back east across our region this week. So, here's the risk of heat. The heat risk. Temperatures will be increasing throughout this week across the entire 4-state region. Humidity levels are expected to remain low early in the week, but increase thereafter. So you'll know what you're set to do when it comes to the heat and humidity. It's been nice, especially for early August, to have a break from the humidity. Now here are your averages and records for this day, Monday, August 4th. Normal high is 96, normal low is 74. 108 is the record high set on this day back in 2011. 62 is the record low set on this day back in 1976. And the entire 4-state region is not under an advisory, watch, or warning here on this Monday night. And we are totally rain free all across the region. If you look on the Shreveport radar, not one spot is receiving any rain. But if you look on the regional radar, you're seeing a small shower in a portion of southeastern Missouri, and also a couple of showers off the Louisiana, Mississippi, across the Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama coastlines, extending to Florida. And also you're seeing some disturbances. A lot of the rain is mainly focusing to our east, across much of to our east, including southeastern Kentucky, a portion of western North Carolina, extending to portions of South Carolina, and central in East Georgia. So that's all the rain you're going to find here on this Monday night. Or it's turned out to be rather, despite us having some clouds around, it's turned out to be rather a nice and pleasant start to the week. Something we typically do not see too often this time of year. So we've had a mixture of clouds and sunshine. The humidity levels stay fairly low, and most of us have. And believe and come to think of it, most of us either had lows in the mainly in the upper 60s to low 70s. Normally we should be in the mid 70s. Most of us had lows in the upper 60s to low 70s, which is kind of nice, especially without the humidity, which made it feel more comfortable and pleasant outside. Something we typically do not get to experience during this time of year. So it's been nice to have a break from the humidity and of course we've seen temperatures warming up below. We've seen, of course, and also humidity levels stayed low. That's why the heat index of the feels like temperatures mainly stayed in the 90s. So not far from what the actual high temperature was. The actual high temperature in Shreveport earlier today was 92 degrees. That is 4 degrees below our normal high of 96. That will be the third straight day with the below average high temperature. And looks like we're gonna reverse that trend. We're gonna start getting back above normal as we go through tomorrow and perhaps the remainder of this week. So, and of course, the heat and humidity will eventually return, and now heat and humidity will eventually return where we start to have we may have to reissue heat advisories and also reintroduce heat advisories. And of course, now it's been nice for us the past couple of days not to have to have the heat index at or above 100 degrees. So then again, it could be a lot worse. It could be a lot worse. So you're just enjoying it's been enjoying the break from the heat and humidity while it lasts. Again, our high temperature today was 92 degrees. Our low temperature this morning, our high temperature today in Shreveport was 92 degrees. That's 4 degrees below the normal high of 96. Our low temperature this morning was 69. That's 5 degrees below our normal low of 74. And we did not receive any rain earlier today at the Shreveport Regional Airport, according to what the National Weather Service data indicates. So our high was 92, our low was 69, and we did not receive any rain so far today. So, and so far this month we've only received 1100s, and it doesn't look and it doesn't look like we're going to see far too much rain on the way either. So it's been nice for us. This is like so eventually, like I said, the heat advisories will eventually return. The heat alerts will eventually return. Where like last year we managed to see some of the hottest temperatures of the year. So I'll let you guys know if we're gonna have any more days that we will climb to one with the actual high temperature climbing to 100. Temperature outside here on this Monday night is 79 degrees with clear skies. Humidity is 70%. Dew point is 68 degrees. Winds are calm. With the heat index with the feels like temperature of 81 degrees, so it doesn't actually feel so the actual feels like temperature, especially with the low humidity and dew points, the dew points in the 60s. This is kind of what I'm liking. Not too humid. It doesn't actually feel warmer than as warm as what the actual air temperature is. Barometric pressure at 30.02 inches of mercury, and visibility is at 10 miles. And now, here's an update as what is happening in the tropics. Now here is an update as based upon what is happening in the tropics. So we currently have Tropical Storm Dexter that is happening in the tropics. Our first named storm in the Atlantic in nearly almost a month. Now here's the very latest on Tropical Storm Dexter. On Saturday. Now here's the very latest on Tropical Storm Dexter. On Saturday, a non-tropical area of low pressure formed off the coast of North Carolina. By Sunday afternoon, the low was producing gale force winds and its associated shower and thunderstorm activity was increasing. Later that day, the disturbance excuse me. Later that day, the disturbance became separated from the nearby frontal zone and acquired tropical characteristics, becoming Tropical Storm Dexter. Dexter formed about 300 miles west-northwest of Bermuda. Its initial movement was toward the east-northeast at around 12 miles per hour. So, the peak's intensity is at 45 miles per hour. That is the very latest on Tropical Storm Dexter, which is the season's 4th named storm, and it doesn't look like it's gonna affect anywhere along the U.S. mainland. But stay tuned. We could be watching for more that is happening. So again, here's the very latest on Tropical Storm Dexter. Okay, Dexter as a tropical storm is currently located about 300. Dexter as a tropical storm is currently located approximately 315 miles from Bermuda. Maximum sustained winds are 45 miles per hour with the wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. Barometric with the movement is the system is moving from the east-northeast at 12 miles per hour, and barometric pressure is at 29.59 inches of mercury. So that is the current position of Dexter. So that is the very latest that I have for you guys on Dexter. On Tropical Storm Dexter. So this is by us with the calendar saying August, this is something we have to pay attention. We have to pay very close attention to what is happening in the tropics, and to see and as of right now it doesn't indicate it now. And of course, you never know when we're going to get a hurricane or tropical storm that will hit close to home. So that's your tropical update that we have. So again, that's the very latest on Tropical Storm Dexter. So tonight, with clear skies, we should bottom out at 72 degrees. So once again, temperatures. So we're gonna start off with temperatures slightly below normal for this time of year. Normally, we should be at least in the low to mid 70s. So 72 degrees. That's a fairly reasonable temperature, especially from where we started off this morning. So tonight with clear skies, we should bottom out at 72 degrees. So tonight with clear skies, we should bottom out at 72 degrees with an east wind and 4 miles per hour rain. We're not expecting any rain. Now tomorrow, going into your Tuesday, it's going to be a very warm day with sunshine. Perhaps tomorrow's going to be a seasonally hot day for us. So nothing unusual for tomorrow's. So tomorrow's going to be a rather typical early August temperature for us. Now today we end up having a high temperature in the low 90s, so we're going to be about 5. So tomorrow we should be about 5 degrees warmer than we were today. Be a very warm day with sunshine, with a high temperature of 97 degrees, with the feels like temperature of 103. So the actual feels like temperature is the actual air temperature is what's going to feel like in the shade. So with the northeast wind at 6 miles per hour, it shouldn't feel all too hot, but in direct sunlight, it's only going to feel like 103. So it shouldn't be. Actually, that should be a reasonable temperature tomorrow going into your Tuesday. So not much of. So it's actually going to with the northerly winds in place, that's what's going to make it feel more comfortable and not as hot. But eventually, enjoy. So at least another day to enjoy the break from the humidity. Now here's how we're planning your day going into your Tuesday. So expect clear skies overnight tonight, with most of us bottoming out in the low to mid 70s. So it would not be a surprise if many of us were to start off with our low temperature in the upper 60s again. 69 was our normal. 69 was this morning's low in Shreveport, and we could expect. So so tomorrow should be at least a few degrees warmer than we were today. So we'll start out tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. with the temperature of 70. So tomorrow morning 6 a.m. with clear skies, we should be at 72 degrees. 9 a.m. tomorrow with sunshine, we should be at 83 degrees. Noon tomorrow with sunshine, we should be at 92 degrees. 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon with sunshine, we should be at 94 degrees. 6 p.m. tomorrow evening with sunshine, we should be at 94 degrees. 9 p.m. tomorrow night with clear skies, we should be at 85 degrees. And that's why I'm not giving you guys the feels like temperatures, because you know it's going to be feeling just as hot as with the actual air temperatures, especially with the dry air in place. So, which is something rather rare for this time of year to have low humidity. Now this isn't actual cold, but this is actually a break from. This is actually a front that came through over the weekend. Not a strong cold front that knocked off the humidity that's been allowed us to have somewhat cooler temperatures for this time of year. So we were below normal on both our high and low temperature earlier today for at least the second day in a row. It looks like that tomorrow. Tomorrow we should get it a few degrees warmer. Just get it a few degrees warmer. It looks like that we could be looking at even hotter temperatures as we go through the remainder of this week, without much rain on the way. Now here's what the next 7 and 10 days have in store for us. Excuse me. After tonight's low temperature, 72 degrees with clear skies. So once again, we should start off in the low 70s. We're just rather seasonably mild and rather comfortable for this time of year. So hope you're enjoying that while it lasts. Another great day to just can't beat it. But tomorrow it'll be a very warm day with sunshine. We should be at least a few degrees hotter than we were today, with the high of 97, low of 74. Feels like temperature of 103. So I say that's what it's going to feel. But in the shade, it's going to feel like its actual temperature in the shade. But in direct sunlight, it's going to feel like 103. So it shouldn't feel all too. Shouldn't necessarily feel all too hot outside. Just rather seasonably hot. High of 97, low of 74. Winds will be from the northeast at 6 miles per hour, and no rain is expected. Wednesday, it would be very warm with abundant sunshine. High of 98, low of 76. The feels like temperature in the shade of 100, and it's actually going to feel like in direct sunlight of 109. So Wednesday could feel a little hotter with the southeast wind at 6 miles per hour, and no rain's expected. Another hot and dry day for us going into your Wednesday. Now Thursday, it would be hot with mostly sunny skies. Remember to use extreme caution. You're going to be outside for an extended period of time for your Thursday. So Thursday's looking to be even hotter with the high of 99, low of 76. Feels like temperature in the shade of 103, but if you're in the sun, it's going to make it feels like temperature 111. We'll have a south wind at 5 miles per hour, and we are not expecting any rain. Also, going to your Friday as we wrap up this week, and don't forget Thursday is the first day of school for students in Bossier Parish. Friday, it will be very warm with mostly sunny skies. High of 98, low of 77. Feels like temperature of 111, 102 in the shade. We'll have a south wind at 6 miles per hour, and no rain is expected. And then Saturday, it will be very warm, mostly sunny skies. Mostly some very warm, mostly sunny skies. High of 97, low of 76. Feels like temperature of 109, but in the shades can feel like 100. So we have a southeast wind at 7 miles per hour, chance of rain 10%. So that lets us know it will be getting rather more hot and humid later this week into the weekend. Also for Sunday, it would be very warm with most sunny skies, high of 97. Very warm with most sunny skies, high of 96, low of 75. Feels like temperature 109. We have a south wind at 7 miles per hour, and no rain is expected. It looks like our next best rain chance will actually not arrive until next Monday, the 11th, a week from today. It would be very warm with partly cloudy skies. Expect a couple of spotty thunderstorms mainly in the afternoon. High of 97, low of 77. Feels like temperature of 108. We have a southeast wind at 6 miles per hour, chance of rain 20%. So looks like that we'll be settling into mainly hot and dry weather for the remainder of this week. It looks like that next Tuesday, which is the 12th, we will have a high temperature in the mid-90s with mostly sunny skies with a 10% chance of rain. Next Wednesday, which is the 13th, Expect partly cloudy skies with the chance of showers and thunderstorms possible. Highs will be in the mid-90s. The 30% chance of rain. Now, next Wednesday, August 13th, that's the first day of school for Caddo Parish students. And next Thursday, which is the 14th, it would be very warm. It would be very mostly cloudy and very warm. A couple showers possible. Highs will be in the upper 90s with a 30% rain chance. So that's what your forecast is. That's what your forecast is looking like over the next several days. So we're going to be pertaining to a more typical August pattern. Well, later in the week. So a break from the so we're gonna have at least one more day with the northerly wind. And what a comfortable day for us tomorrow. It'll be feeling seasonably hot. But if you add into the humidity, if you add in the humidity and the dew point, it shouldn't be feeling all that hot for you. So once again, we will most likely have high temperatures in the mid to upper 90s over the next several days. Looks like our hottest day will likely be Thursday of 99. So we're mainly going to stay in the mid to upper 90s with the feels like temperature over 100. So it looks like tomorrow is going to be the we'll be feeling the most comfortable. And then we start to see the return of southerly winds, which is going to add in the heat. So we have at least one more day of weather. A break from the higher humidity. Although tomorrow should be a bit warmer than we were today. Then we're going to have settle into southerly winds for the remainder of the week, starting on Wednesday, with high temperatures pushing with the actual high temperature reaching the upper 90s, and so over the next several days we'll most likely have highs in the mid to upper 90s, but very little change in temperature starting tomorrow. But that feels like temperatures will most likely be in the triple digits. Well, 103 will be the feels like temperature tomorrow. What's going to feel like outside, but it looks like that with the return of southerly winds could be feeling much hotter as we go into Wednesday and most likely remaining for at least early next week. And so eventually, as we go into the second half of this week, we'll start to see heat advisories or to return. It's possible we could have heat advisories issued for the area, especially with the return of southerly winds. 90 rain chances, no rain expected. So it looks like tomorrow, basically the remainder of this week is looking mainly dry. Definitely tomorrow, which is Tuesday through Friday, I have a 10% chance of rain for Saturday. No rain expected Sunday. It looks like the best rain chance happening will perhaps be Monday, with only a 20%. And it looks like that I will keep in lowering rain chances basically through the remainder of next week, as we'll see more moisture and feeding, and perhaps winds remaining southerly. And I'll keep you guys posted on what is happening in the tropics. But I'll keep you guys posted on what is happening in the tropics. And so basically, we're not looking at any rain for the and looks like that. So it looks like that our next best chance of rain will not likely arrive until early next week. Only rainfall totals should be between now and early next week should be well under 1/10 of an inch. But other than that, it's basically going to remain basically hot and dry starting tomorrow and lasting through the remainder of the week. And looks like it could be more than a week out before we could see our next best chance of any significant rain. So between now and early next week, not much rain is on the way. Just gonna be just try to find ways to keep cool, especially as you go towards the latter part of the week. Well, that will be all that I have for you guys here on this Monday night. Once again, my name is Felton Parker. I'm officially signing off here. You guys have a good night. Sleep peacefully. Take care of yourselves and each other. Most of all, remain blessed and stay safe. Thank you.